used by the Earth Federation to refer to any member of the Principality of Zeon military who refused to rejoin the Republic of Zeon following the end of the One-Year War and continued combat operations against the Earth Federation forces. After the One-Year War, the Principality of Zeon's military units that did not accept the defeat of the Principality of Zeon went into hiding in various regions. Their objectives vary from unit to unit, and there are even battles among these Zeon remnants due to differences in objectives and ideology, but they are generally united in their opposition to the Earth Federation government and the Earth Federation forces. Most of them do not have major military bases, living in abandoned villages or wreckage of battleships, and engaging in guerrilla activities using ready-made equipment, but there are rare organizations like Axis that have large-scale production facilities and develop new mobile suits and mobile armors. In addition, some organizations receive support from anti-Federation factions of the Republic of Zeon, such as the Wind Party and the Hidden Zeon faction and Anaheim Electronics. The existence of these remnants, which engage in armed uprisings and resistance activities in various regions, is a serious social problem for the Federation, and from UC 008 OS to the 012 OS, Zeon remnant organizations of various sizes sprang up. The Federation forces also formed the Titans and Londo Bell to stop and suppress these groups. On the other hand, some factions in the Federation regard the Zeon remnants as the best virtual enemies to secure the military budget, and they sometimes tolerate their existence. Following the Battle of Abaoa Quo, the final battle of the One-Year War, the Zabi family, the leaders of the Principality of Zeon, were all killed. As a result, the Principality of Zeon became the Republic of Zeon and signed the Granada Treaty with the Earth Federation at Granada, ending the war. However, more than half of Zeon's space vessels refused to recognize the Republic of Zeon and escaped from Abaoa Quo. Following their escape, these forces gathered at Karama Point to decide their future. Most decided to leave the Earth sphere and head for Axis to join Maharaja Karn, but the group led by Iguil Delaz decided to stay in the Earth sphere and fight, eventually establishing a base of operations called Garden of Thorns in the Shoal Zone of former Side 5. This group would later be known as the Delaz Fleet. The Delaz Fleet launched Operation Stardust with support from Axis. The operation did not go as planned and resulted in Delaz's death, but ultimately succeeded in its goal of dropping a colony on the Federation's North American farmlands. Contrary to Delaz's hope of helping to achieve Spacenoid independence, however, this led to the founding of the Titans, a Federation special force intended to find and destroy Zeon remnants. Some of Zeon forces on Earth also refused to surrender. 3 among them were the Kimberlite forces, led by Nguyen Bitter, formerly a division commander of the African Front, who established a base in an abandoned diamond mine in East Africa. Meanwhile, former MS Special Duty Guerrilla Squad member Jake Guns, who was now a member of the Zeon remnant group Wolf's Hammer, tried to recruit former comrade May Cowan, who was now the technical chief of Banger Industry, into his group, saying that they needed her expertise as system engineer to make a certain machine fly. He was stopped by Matt Healy, who was asked by former MS Special Duty Guerrilla Squad leader Ken Betterstadt to protect May, and Jake was arrested by the Titans. However, this incident was only the prelude to a much larger plot. On Earth, a Federation convoy carrying a fuel air bomb from the Khartoum base was attacked by a team of Zeon remnants, who stole its content. A team of Republic of Zeon soldiers, consisting of Ken Betterstadt and former Midnight Fenrir Corps members Nikki Roberto and Charlotte Hepner, joined forces with a Federation mobile suit team to recover the bomb. Knowing that the Zeon remnants were led by his former teammate Renchef, Nikki intended to convince him to surrender. Eventually, the combined team found the Zeon remnants' base. Ken engaged Renchef, while Nikki and Charlotte chased after a gallop carrying the bomb, only to be stopped by former comrade Sophie Fran. Piloting a MS-09F Trop Dom Tropen, Sophie impaled the head of Charlotte's MS-06 F2 Zaku, the second F2 type, on her heatsaber and threatened to kill her, forcing the two to surrender. Inside the gallop, Renchef revealed that Wolf's Hammer intended to launch the fuel air bomb at Side 3, to remind the people of Zeon that their war has not yet ended. Soon the bomb was loaded onto a Komusai II and launched into space, where it was received by former Granada Special Forces members Lilia Flaubert, Hoyman Carlyle, and Gusta Piper. The trio took the bomb back to their asteroid base, where they loaded it onto a thermonuclear pulse thruster intended for interplanetary travel. This weapon, named Silver Lance by Lilia, was controlled from a MS-18E Kempfer. However, since they failed to enlist May, they were unable to implement an autopilot system and had to make it piloted, turning it into a suicide weapon. Having learned of the plot from Jake, Matt informed Titans members Ford Romfellow and Agar of the plot. However, their superiors refused to intervene, saying that it was a Zeon internal dispute. Angered, Ford decided to go AWOL to stop the attack, joined by his team. Meanwhile, Douglas Roden, former commander of the Special Duty Guerrilla Squad and currently a general of the Republic of Zeon Homeland Defense Force, deployed his forces in an attempt to stop the attack. As what appeared to be the Silver Lance approached Side 3, the Republic of Zeon Defense Force fired at it using a plasma beam cannon, instantly destroying it. However, many new thrusters suddenly began flying toward Side 3 as well, revealing the first unit to be a decoy. The Republic of Zeon forces and Rogue Titans pilots joined forces in shooting down the thrusters. Eventually, Ford's team found the real Silver Lance. However, they were unable to destroy it due to the interference of Hoyman and Gusta. Suddenly, Agar appeared, holding a RB-79G bulwark type, piloted by Matt and May. Knowing that Agar was an artillery specialist, Matt asked Agar to fire the ball's winch at the Silver Lance. Using the winch, Matt and May were able to enter the Silver Lance just as its main thruster fired, which would have made it impossible to stop. Inside the Silver Lance, May disconnected the Kempfer from the Silver Lance's control, causing its thrusters to stop. Inside Silver Lance, Lilia confronted Matt and May at gunpoint, saying that she has to do this to carry on the will of Mallet Sanguine. After wounding Matt with a shot, Lilia climbed into the Kempfer's cockpit, determined to continue fighting. Hearing Mallet's name, Ford confronted Lilia and revealed that he was the one who killed Mallet, asking her to direct all of her hatred toward him. Lilia slammed the fuel air bomb against his RGM-79Q GM Quell, causing it to detonate harmlessly in the vacuum of space. Following the incident, all members of Wolf's Hammer were captured and imprisoned by the Republic of Zeon. However, Blex 4 spoke with Douglas, revealing that he provided intelligence of the attack to him. Blex told Douglas that it must have been the Titans who arranged for the Wolf's Hammer to obtain a fuel air bomb to make even the Republic fear the threat represented by the Zeon Remnants and boost their political standing as the hunters of Zeon Remnants. However, there was no concrete evidence connecting them to the incident.